This video is brought to you by Smart Money Parenting. Educate your kids about money. More on them at the end of this video. At what age would half your life be over? The CDC has reported that the life expectancy for the average American is 78.6 years. For men, that's 76.1 years, and for women, that's 81.1 years. So logically, half your life, if you were a man, would be 76.1 divided by 2, which is 38.05 years. For women, halfway would be 40.55 years. For the average American overall, halfway is 39.3 years. Video done, right? Well, not exactly. Sure, those numbers are half of what we expect to live, but we're talking about relative terms. For example, we perceive time to go much faster when we're having fun. A 2-hour movie we enjoy ends too soon, but a 2-hour meeting feels like it's never going to end. We perceive time differently, and that has a real impact on our time. Mind you, I said our time, not time in general. Time, no matter how one perceives it, is a constant. A period between two moments is always the same. There will always be 60 seconds in a minute. But our perception of time makes the question to this video a bit more complicated. Each year appears to go by faster because it makes up a smaller fraction of our entire life. A birthday is more meaningful at age 5 than it is at age 65. That's why most of our memories are of us as children and young adults. We wonder why children are so impatient. For a 7-year-old, 1 month is 1.19% of their life, while a 21-year-old, 1 month is only 0.39% of their life. Old people drive much slower, not because their motor skills are lagging, but because time doesn't mean as much to them. A week to an 80-year-old is 0.1% of their life, nearly 12 times faster than how a 7-year-old perceives time. So if you want to calculate how much a week is of your life, get your age in terms of months, so if you're 28 years and 8 months old, multiply 28 and 12 and then add 8, that's 344. Get 1 and divide 344 by that, and a week equals 0.29% of your life. Each year is even easier. If you are 52 years old, just put a 1 over your age and divide. 1 over 52. A single year equals 1/52nd, or 1.92% of your life. Okay, then how do we calculate the average halfway point for an American with a life expectancy of 78.6 years? That's not too difficult, but it does require some juggling of numbers. List down the number 78 times. Next, multiply the first 78 and 1 over 1 together. After that, multiply the second 78 and 1/2 together. For the third 78, multiply that and 1/3 together. Keep going until you reach the very last 78. Multiply that last one with 1 over 78. After each number is multiplied, add them all together. You'll get 385.345042. This is the total perceived time of the average life expectancy in the US. What that actually means is that the average time you perceive your entire life is equivalent to living 385 years. To get to the halfway point, simply divide that number by 2, and you'll get 192.672521. Finally, we need to translate that number into years of life. Since the first 78 times 1 over 1 equals 78, we subtract that from 192.672521. The second 78 times 1/2 equals 39. We again subtract that portion from 192.672521. We go year by year until we subtract everything from 192.672521. We then finally find ourselves a little over 6 years old. At that age, the average American would have lived half their life in terms of their perception of time. Mind-blowing, because that age is far less than the actual halfway point at 39.3 years. That means by around age 6, the average American would have lived half their life in terms of their perception of time. To put it another way, the years between age 7 and 78 is just about the same as going from age 0 to 6. It makes sense too. Kids are notoriously impatient and they can't seem to stay in one place too long. This might be a diagnosis of ADHD, but maybe it could be that time moves so slow to them that our perception of their short attention span is equivalent to years for them. We learn most of what we'll ever know in those first 6 years of life. We learn how to walk, to talk, to perceive pain, joy, guilt, fear, anger, jealousy, social skills, and just about every foundational attribute we take for granted as adults. That's why I created an online course for young parents. This is a channel about money. I talk about money and I hope you learn something from it. But what's important to me is that our kids learn about money too. My course focuses on parenting techniques and strategies that should be taught to your kids at a young age. Financial education is rarely taught in our schools. Your kids learn math, science, English, religion, and even how to throw a ball, but they don't know how to balance a budget or spend less than what they have, and then invest the rest. I'll show you how to teach them those lifelong skills that'll make them wise adults when it comes to money. Use code 30PLAN to get 30% off when you register for my course. I'll leave a link to all the info in the description. As always, take care of your money.